Craig, when you just think about the game and the way that you guys evaluate players, I'm curious. Every guy in your starting lineup, with the exception of Say, was a first-round pick. What does that information mean to you, if anything?
I think it means that probably the industry and the evaluators are doing a really good job with position players more than anything, like how we're evaluating position players, being right more on their evaluations, so they're the first rounders are the guys that get onto the field. I think it's a mix of developed guys and traded guys. Maybe it's probably a better question for Jed and how that winds up like that. But I think I see it as an industry thing. It's like it just means the industry is getting pretty darn good at like picking position players. That's kind of how I see it.
Michael Bush, starting against the lefty. Obviously, the lefty's not in there very long. I'm curious. I totally understand why Justin Turner starts. When Bush, you've talked about him being a streaky hitter. When he's going well, does it tempt you to put him in there a little bit more against the lefty to see if you can ride that out some more, or you want to stick to your kind of play?
I think there's two sides to that argument. You could argue he's going well because of and you could argue that that there's streaks to take advantage of, and then there's development to take advantage of. So I think there's we signed Justin for a reason and a role, and at this point we're going to stick with that. But I think Michael's performance certainly against the right-handed pitching is eye-opening for sure, and I think he's making progress too as a hitter, and that's important. But I think right now, this is how we're structured, and we're going to continue to be that way.
Do you have a day for Shota's next game appearance, or first game appearance?
Yes.
Can you share it?
I'm trying to think of it. Let me get it to you. I think it's Sunday. John, can we get that afterwards?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Sunday. Tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then Porter, was the bullpen yesterday or today?
It was today.
It's today.
Yeah.
Has he thrown it yet?
Yeah, I think he just got done with it, yeah. He just walked in when we started.
With Brad Keller, we've talked a lot about the velocity, but what's it taken for him to kind of sustain the success here this season?
I think, look, there were some situations we put him in early in the season that were just brand new for him. And I thought that was, it took him maybe an appearance. I know we put him in at one time. It was the first time he ever came into a game with a runner on base. So he's had some new experiences. Tried to a little bit have a transition into those experiences, and now I feel like he's done this for 2.5 months or 3 months really with count spring training, and knows what he's doing. So he's comfortable doing what he's doing. He's got a good routine. Feels very healthy right now. So we're in a good place.
Between him and Pomerantz and Flexen, I feel like you guys keep having these acquisition victories on the reliever side. Does that feel like a unique number of bullpen wins? Does it feel like you've been hitting on them more than normal?
Well, those guys, just their performance has been great. Just exceptional. So, I think then you'd say yes, because how they've performed has been just Pomerantz and Flexen have not given up a run. That's.
Is it good?
Even for social media, that's good. Yeah, yeah. I somebody told me that. I didn't remember. I remember the hit. I didn't remember it was against the Cubs, actually.
But his first game up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because that would have been Andy Abani's spot, so to speak. In his first round.
Yeah, I mean, give him credit. He hit a pretty good pitch, too.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good guy. Yeah.
Did you?
His dad was a Notre Dame football player. Yeah.
Going through the, it felt like a lot of guys were on time in school. I mean, starting with Pete, that alone, regardless of results, has to sort of impress.
Yeah, I mean, Scooble is unique in this way. It's probably what I learned last night. I mean, he truly challenges hitters. So we had a number of pitches in the middle of the strike zone. We swung at the right pitches, no question. His stuff is overwhelming enough where you just don't square it up enough to get things going necessarily. But I thought we swung at the right pitches last night, and that's that really is your job. And then you have to do something with those pitches. But I think your first job is swing at the right pitches. We did that well last night.
Be on time.
Yeah, and then we missed some pitches, and that's ultimately why we didn't score. Is you miss some pitches in good parts to hit, and those are the ones. If you make the right swing decision, you hope you do something with them.
I thought it was interesting last night. You had Scooble hitting 98 typically with his fastball, and you're thinking, man, this is really going to be tough. And then Ben Brown is coming out there, and he's hitting 98, 99.
Yeah, that was Ben's best fastball of the year. Kind of looking back at the start, it was, it was a tick up last night for sure.
And it wasn't, Ben's got a little different repertoire, but there didn't look like a huge difference between.
Well, Ben, I mean, I think, look, Ben can go toe to toe stuff wise with anybody for sure. I mean, I think he showed that last night. I kept looking at first pitch strikes. I don't know if they put that up for Scooble or what because he's so good at it. But it was, Ben was keeping up with him last night, and that's a key to his success. And I think Ben showed like I said, the last two starts for Ben have been really important for us.
It feels like slowly but surely he's adding the changeup a little bit more.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at the just pitch percentages, I think last night it was like a normal pitch for him, right? It was like a pitch, a very part of the repertoire pitch, not we're going to show it. It was part of the repertoire, and that's a good sign.
One more on him. I think Riley Green talked about his fastball. It's just one of those that's on you quick.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Resonate more than just your normal magazine.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ben's it's a north-south, and when you play the north-south game with that breaking ball, the fastball, you just have a hard time. That's what it makes it feel like, because if there's one little touch of spin, it's too much to get by you.